Hello, my name is Vernon John Ledger with the Ground Level Youth Center and Right to Play. Today is Thoughtful Thursday, and we're going to talk a little bit about submodalities. These are in the school of thought of NLP. Submodalities are how we code information. It's basically the building blocks of experience, and if you change submodalities, it'll change the way you feel about certain memories. I'm going to tell you a bit of story, a couple of stories of how this has worked for me and my friends, because I've told them how to use it. If you want more information on NLP and submodalities, check out Mike Mindell and David Snyder. They got a lot of really good information, and they taught me what I know. Taken a couple of courses. So I'm going to start with this magic frame technique that they have. And I had a friend who once came over to my house. He came to visit me, and he had his bicycle stolen off of his balcony, and he just couldn't stop thinking about it. It was a really not a pleasant memory. He had his bike stolen a couple of days ago. So because it was bothering him a lot, I offered this offer of the submodality known as the magic frame. And the way it works is you visualize that moment that you don't like, because it keeps popping up anyways. So you visualize it, you see it in front of you. And I asked him to see the bike. So he sees the bike, and he sees that the bike's not there. That makes him feel not very good. So I asked him then to feel where it doesn't feel good, to feel himself. And it was in his stomach where the feeling was. So touch the stomach and see the picture out in front of you. Now what you want to do is you want to draw a frame around it. So we drew a frame around the picture because it was about that big. Drew the frame. Then he touched the place that was where he was uncomfortable. And then he touched the picture. And that creates a link between you and your neurology, because your neurology is all out in front of you. So we did this. And then he took the picture, and then I told him to make it really big and asked him how that felt. It didn't feel very good. He didn't like that. So make it small. So I made it really small. And then when he made it really small, the feeling was pretty much gone, but he still had to pretend to take an imaginary pen and write down the lesson. So the lesson would be there in his neurology, and to tell him to take as long as he needs. And then as soon as he finished that, he took the little picture and he threw it behind him, and it was on the grass. So then I asked him to stomp it like a nail into the grass. And he said that felt a lot better. And this is the general experience with this technique. And if you could even do it with positive memories, you could take the frame and you could change it into like a cloak, and you can wear it. Or you can make it huge. You can push it further away. You can bring it back. You can black it out. You can make it white. You can turn up and down the contrast. You can do all kinds of things. And this will change the way you feel about whatever memory it is. Experiment with this one. It's pretty awesome. The next submodality I'd like to share is the sound. It's audible. So imagine that you have someone in your life you've heard this sound in the past. I have my own example from the past that I've used this on, but I'll just use an example that I came up with here. Imagine you hear this voice, and the voice is going like this all the time. And you don't really like that. And it's right here. You hear that. And what you can do with that is change it. So change it from a sound that goes to a sound that goes like a sound of satisfaction. So now the sound there that was going the way it was is now going and you can even take it and put it here and leave it there. And you can use your hands to do this. You can also use your imagination and your words. And once it's back there and you've changed the way the sound is, which changes the way you make the feelings come about with that sound, it carries on and it endures. I've done this with certain things. It's really good. And here's another thing you could do. If you are just not wanting someone to be let's say you just don't want to be connected to someone anymore. in a way that's like deep, and you just don't want to be connected. So what you could do is you can find an imaginary string that's attached to you. There's a string. So you take the string, say if it's a heartstring, you have a heartstring that's attached to someone who maybe you don't really want to be connected and engaged with anymore because you just found that it wasn't working out for you or them and nobody was getting any benefits from it. Then you could take the string, because it's emotional attachment string, and you can take it and find out where it is and imagine that that string is attached to the other person. And you could just take your scissors here and imagine that when you cut that string, it's detached from you and you're free. And yeah, there's a little bit of a sharing a few submodalities here on the Thoughtful Thursday. I hope you found value in this. Remember, if you want to learn more about submodalities, check out David Snyder. He's the #1 NLP practitioner in the world. And Mike Mandel is a funny, hilarious man who knows a lot of things like this. So I hope you've had a great day. This is Vern and John Ledger from the Ground Level Youth Center. Bye for now.